There's a lot of special specific words for groups of animals in the English language. There's more common ones like a flock of birds or school of fish. But what's the reason behind those more unusual ones, like a parliament of owls or an ostentation of peacocks? Granted, only a few of these exotic words actually get used in casual conversation, and most of them aren't even recognized in dictionaries. But there has to be a reason why these even exist, right? There's a formal name for this, nouns of assemblage or terms of venery, telling of where the tradition first started, hunting, specifically in the Middle Ages. It was believed to have originated from the Norman French and made its way to England. The aristocratic Anglo-Norman medieval hunters had an extensive specialized vocabulary for the practice. Hunters thoroughly studied the behavior and appearances of the animals they were hunting, and it showed through in their language. Over time, there have been several records of literature, manuscripts, that contain these collective nouns, each with a varying number of listed ones. But it wasn't until the 15th century that the most extensive literature for the terms of venery was printed, the Book of St. Albans. This is where most of the collective nouns for animals have been attributed to. Its section on hunting is attributed to the enigmatic Juliana Berners. It contained a list of 164 terms of venery, although not all of them were for animals, and also were of a humorous and whimsical nature. The book emphasizes the social aspect of the activity. Another interesting dynamic of these terms of venery was that in its time, it functioned as something that distinguished the social circles of the upper class, as hunting was an activity associated with and usually reserved for the nobles. It wasn't enough that you knew how to hunt. You needed to be able to speak like one too. Knowing these words and using them in conversation meant that you belonged socially. That's a big factor as to why these persisted. These terms differed in nature. Most of them were descriptive of the behavior or the characteristics of the animals, which is more of where the hunting origins showed through. The other general group were the more playful, whimsical ones that comment on the animal's connotations. James Lipton categorized the nature of these terms into 6: onomatopoeia, characteristic, appearance, habitat, comment, and error. So that's the why of it all. A tradition that, although didn't have any association with etymology or zoology, was able to make its way to us. Nowadays, most of these terms of venery are rarely used, mainly in literary poetic contexts or as a cool fact to know. They're fun to discover, but that's pretty much where it ends.